Hello everyone, this is Caleb from BLACKJACK Games with another Duels of Fortune character showcase. For today's showcase, I'll be presenting the shady, underhanded gambling tycoon, Sylvan BLACKJACK. So this week was originally going to be for Shoto's showcase, but we recently finished updating Sylvan's moveset for the open beta, and we wanted to take this opportunity to show it off in full. So the Shoto video will be pushed back to next week. But with that being said, let's dive right into Sylvan. Strap yourselves in for a long one, because there's a lot to talk about with this character. Sylvan is a unique power-up style character, and easily one of the most technical characters in the game. He starts off each match in a weaker state called Wagering mode, which has below average damage and is overall much more defensively oriented. But by gathering 4 aces, he will enter the much more powerful Full House mode, where he becomes an offensive monster capable of melting an opponent's entire health bar in seconds. Full House mode doesn't last forever though, so you'll eventually be forced to revert to Wagering mode and start all over again. So how does one gather aces in the first place? Well, that would be through Sylvan's Card Draw move, which is performed with back plus any attack button. Each attack button corresponds to a different suit. Light for spades, medium for hearts, heavy for clubs, and special for diamonds. When you draw a card, it will go into the appropriate slot in the special HUD element above Sylvan's super meter. The card you draw will either be an ace or a numbered card. Normally the outcome is random, with it becoming increasingly rarer to draw an ace the more aces you already have. However, by using card draw in a combo, you are guaranteed to draw an ace. There are other, less guaranteed ways of manipulating the odds in your favor, as is the Sylvan way, but we'll get into those later. When you draw a numbered card into one of your card slots, you can perform the corresponding card draw input again to do Card Throw, which frees up that card slot and throws a weak card projectile at the opponent. When you draw an ace into a slot, that slot will become locked in. The card draw input for that slot will be replaced with a new projectile attack called Ace Energy. Ace Energy is a completely different move for each suit, so it's more like it's 4 different moves that all happen to share a name. I'll take these attacks one by one. The Spade version fires off a fast-moving projectile at an upwards angle. On hit, it knocks the opponent back towards you, making it a useful combo tool. The Heart version is a medium-speed projectile that homes in on the opponent's position. Love will always find you, they say. This one deals the least damage of all the ace energies, but it's good for simply deterring the opponent from approaching while you try to gather up more aces. The Club version shoots out multiple projectiles in a shotgun-like spread. Also like a shotgun, the projectiles don't have very much effective range, but they do chain into each other. As you might imagine, this one is better if you prefer to play it close to mid-range. And finally, the Diamond version is a slower-moving projectile that travels in a straight line. When it hits the opponent, it causes an explosion that pops them up into the air for easy follow-ups. Having these unique projectiles means that Sylvan gets stronger and gains new moves the more aces he has, and as the Sylvan player, you can pick and choose which ace energies you want to go for first, depending on your playstyle. As a final addendum to card drawing, Sylvan's reversals also both cause him to draw a card into a random slot. However, since it won't always draw into an empty slot, sometimes you'll just get nothing. Don't rely on this too much, especially since reversals cost 25% meter each. Okay, that was a lot for just one set of moves. They are the core of his gameplay after all. We still need to talk about Full House mode as well, but before we jump into that, let's take a look at all the regular special moves that Sylvan has access to while in Wagering mode. First up, Sylvan's neutral special is Security! Sylvan calls upon his faithful skeleton bodyguard, Mr. Withers, to act as a meat shield. Or bone shield, I guess. While he's around, he'll block any incoming attacks for you, including projectiles. If he takes too many hits all at once, however, he'll be knocked away. If Withers lands on top of the opponent, he will stomp them into the ground, causing a hard knockdown. To make this more guaranteed at further ranges, you can hold forward while pressing the special button to make Withers fall on top of the opponent rather than in front of Sylvan. It's worth noting, however, that the tracking only extends to about a half screen's distance away, so you can't just stomp the opponent down from full screen. The last thing to know about this move is that pressing special again while Withers is already on stage will cause him to do a shoulder tackle. It travels pretty far and causes a wall bounce, but but Withers will go away as soon as it's over, and you won't be able to call him back for a few seconds. Overall, Security is an extremely versatile move that can be used to wall out the opponent or to pressure them. Either way, Withers is a big help in allowing you to get the ball rolling and collect aces. Sylvan's down special is Slot Machine. He summons a slot machine in front of him, which can be placed closer or further away by holding back or forward respectively. The slot machine doesn't do anything on its own, but when hit by any melee attack from either player, the lever will crank and the machine will spin, triggering one of 7 random effects, indicated by whichever icons line up on the slot machine's face. I won't go over every single effect in this showcase, since there's a lot to talk about, but there are a few things to say about the move in general. The majority of effects granted by the slot machine apply to whichever player hits the machine, whether that be Sylvan or the opponent. It's not always strictly beneficial for the one who hits the slot machine though, as there are effects that can harm you, or that harm both players. There's one effect in particular that always benefits Sylvan, no matter whether he or the opponent hit the slot machine, so you always have a slight advantage when summoning the slot machine yourself. This move is very risk-reward for both players involved. You don't necessarily have to use it if you don't want to, but it can benefit you quite handsomely. Care to try your luck? For a nice change of pace, let's talk about a much more simplistic special move. Sylvan's jumping special is Pick a Card. Sylvan throws 3 playing cards at different downwards angles, letting him cover a pretty decent amount of space. Since this move carries your horizontal momentum, it can be good to use while retreating, as a way to prevent the opponent from getting too close. It's also a pretty solid combo tool, as hitting with all 3 cards at point blank deals a lot of damage compared to most of Sylvan's other attacks in Wagering mode. Now that we've covered pretty much everything Sylvan can do in Wagering mode, it's time to move on to the real exciting part of his kit, Full House mode. While in Full House mode, you move faster, gain the ability to air dash, and you have a 1.5 times damage multiplier on all your attacks, turning you into an absolute beast. And if that wasn't enough, Sylvan also becomes completely immune to most enemy projectiles, teleporting them straight back onto the opponent and damaging them. Sylvan also gets a brand new array of special moves while in Full House mode. His neutral special becomes Deck Slicer. This is by far Sylvan's most powerful move. It's extremely fast to start up, and is one of the most damaging moves in the game, aside from supers. On the ground, you can hold back during the startup to angle the move upward, and regardless of which way you angle it, you can also jump cancel it, allowing you to chain multiple instances of this move together for massive damage. The air version of the move is always angled downward though. For all the insane power this move offers, it does have one big catch. As you may have noticed, every use of Deck Slicer reduces the amount of time Sylvan has left in Full House mode, meaning that you have to make every single use of it count. But if you can manage to hit your shots with this move, you can bring even the most tanky of characters to their knees. And Sylvan's down special becomes Super Slot Machine. Sylvan summons a slot machine just like normal, but this time it explodes instantly, pops the opponent high up into the air. Like with the regular slot machine, you can hold forward or backward to control the range that the slot machine appears at, letting you catch the opponent with it no matter where they are. This move isn't as damaging as Deck Slicer, but its knockback is perfect for allowing you to combo 1 or more Deck Slicers after using it. Sylvan in Full House mode is truly a force to be reckoned with. This showcase has been a really long one, but we're on the home stretch now. Let's wrap it up by talking about Sylvan's supers. Sylvan's primary super is All In. You're probably wondering why it just did absolutely nothing. This super works in a unique way compared to most other supers. It consumes all of Sylvan's current aces, and gets progressively stronger the more aces he already has. In Full House mode, it becomes even more powerful, becoming one of the most damaging supers in the game. However, it does come at the cost of immediately taking you out of Full House mode, since it does still consume all of your aces. As such, this super is best utilized at the very end of Full House mode, since that's when it will be at its absolute strongest, with the least detriment to Sylvan. And finally, Sylvan's down super is Restraining Order. Sylvan sneakily orders Withers to appear behind the opponent and grab them. There's no cinematic startup here, so the opponent has to react pretty fast to avoid getting grabbed. If Withers successfully grabs the opponent, Sylvan will drop a giant golden statue of himself on top of the both of them, crushing them under its weight. Unlike with All In, this super doesn't gain any unique buffs as you collect more aces, making it equally useful no matter how far along you are. If you're still trying to get yourself set up, but you have some meter to burn, this is probably the main thing you'll want to be using it on. At the start of a match, make use of Sylvan's wide arsenal of zoning tools to keep the opponent at bay while you collect aces and make yourself stronger. Combo them using Withers and your ace energies, or try your luck with the slot machine to guarantee your ace draws. Once you manage to enter full house mode, use your newfound power to combo the opponent into oblivion and demolish their health bar. There are a multitude of ways to play Sylvan, but in general he tends to be a character who either steamrolls or gets steamrolled. So no matter how you choose to play him, just try to make sure you're the one doing the steamrolling. That's all for today's showcase. We hope you look forward to the open beta release of Duels of Fortune, and to more guide videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching.